And we're live. Aaron Whitlow.
Brandon Spivey.
Oh man, that's weird. We are the Markout Movie Podcasters. Brandon is suffering from a bad back, so there might be drugs associated with that right now.
I
And
have them, but I haven't taken them yet.
there you go. And then I ate I ate something that didn't agree with me, so I have that. So here we go together, miserable, but here for you nonetheless. First thing to Bill for the Hobbit, I did not get to watch RRR. I apologize. I've been busy. Brandon didn't get to watch it, but Brandon didn't also get to watch what I wanted him to watch, which is Nope. But that's okay. No judgment here. Uh, other than what he did get to watch is Elvis 100 times. Six, six to be honest. Six is his record. Uh, now I was going to ask you this, Brandon, going into this. So let's go ahead and title this one is what we watched real quick. In this episode, we're going to be discussing Falcon and the Winter Soldier. But before we get there, we always like to talk about what we watched this week. Brandon watched Elvis for the sixth time. And this question popped in my mind. Brandon, so you said early on when you was watching the movie, like maybe your second or third time, the theater was still pretty packed and pretty had a good amount of people. The sixth time, was it empty or was it still pretty good?
I mean, it wasn't as full as it was the third time, but it still had over a dozen people, which I kind of laughed about it because right after I watched Elvis, I went and seen Where the Crawdads Sing. Elvis had more people there and Vengeance combined. So not a lot of people seen these new movies.
Speaking of
So
which, yeah. So you just brought it up. You seen Where the Crawdad Sings?
yeah.
How was?
Well, I have no recollection, no history with the book, so I went in, not expecting anything. I liked it. When it reveals everything at the end, I was like, I don't like that. I don't like how they did it. But telling her, I liked her story more than the murder mystery or the mysterious death. You don't know if he was actually murdered. It could have been an accident. But I liked her story being left alone more
Hmm.
than with the mysterious death of this person. But I liked it. I thought it was interesting. I would say Vengeance was my movie of the week, though.
And what is that movie?
You'll know him from The Office, BJ Novak.
Okay.
Uh, Ryan.
Oh, yeah, I seen the trailer for that. I forgot what movie I seen the trailer
And
for. The podcaster, right?
Boyd Hoybrook. I think that's how you pronounce his last name. Ashton Kutcher's in it. It's an indie mystery comedy. I thought it was excellent writing. I was not bored at all. Um,
And is this PJ Novak's directorial film debut?
yeah, he directed it first time. He wrote the script, stars in it. I mean, Jason Blum produced it. Uh, it's not Blumhouse, but it's he still produced it. I just thought it was excellent. Like really, it kept me on the edge of my seat. It was funny. It was dramatic. It was fun. The supporting characters just make it very interesting, I'll say. And I give this to Ashton Kutcher. I don't really care for him, but I think
Hmm.
it's one of his better performances in the last decade, maybe.
Okay.
Like, but yeah, I hadn't seen anything new. I've been watching James Bond, you know. So I hadn't really. Those were the only two new movies I've seen.
I've watched new movies wise. First one I like to mention that I recommend anybody watch is on Netflix. It's called The Sea Beast. It's an animated movie. Netflix every year comes out with some of the most amazing animated films. Um, Klaus, which me and Brandon both enjoyed. I think Mitchell's versus the Machine, which I liked. I don't remember if you liked it or not.
Yeah,
Um,
I thought that was really fun.
and then is this one is about these hunters on a pirate like a pirate type of ship that it hunts monsters, hunts kaiju, giant monsters and beasts. And this little girl stows away to join them, and they encounter a big red beast in the sea. But you don't really, at the end, you real find out you really don't understand them. They don't really understand one another. But yeah, it's really, it had a lot of heart. I really enjoyed it, and plus the animation in it was really good. Like uh, the visuals look really crisp. The water looks great. Like the clothing looked good on it. Just like it's just amazing me how good animation is becoming. Um, Last thing I saw this week that is new would be Prey. I watched it maybe last week, I think. But anyway, Prey, which is the new Predator film that and is the Predator sequel that we deserve to have. It's better than all the other. Although I didn't hate Predators personally, I didn't hate Predators. But my favorite Predator movie is the first one. Didn't like two, although I imagine it might grow on me now. I don't know. Um, but I didn't like it because it was so far removed from what the first one was, so I didn't know how to respond to it. Now I see how to respond to it. But yeah, I loved it. I loved Prey. I thought Prey was great.
Yeah, I would say every Predator movie is different. It just feels different. It doesn't feel in the same universe, really. I haven't seen Prey, but all the others they're all different. And I would say Predators would probably be the best sequel of the bunch.
The
Uh,
one with Brody,
yeah,
Adrian Brody.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I would say that's probably the best sequel. But most people do like Predator too. I watched it last year, and I was like, no.
Still no. Still no.
I was like, man, this is so far off of what Arnold and them did, and that just. I love Gary Busey in it though, but it doesn't work for me at
You know,
all.
it's hard to capture lightning in a bottle more than once. Like with the first Predator movie, the way that they were able to like create atmosphere, and it was a action movie, but it had horror elements. Uh, the
Yeah,
Predator felt like an unkillable force, and just very like ahead of very like above everybody else pretty much. And Schwarzenegger and Carl Withers, everybody in it was really great.
yeah.
And
It was a great cast. You cared about everybody in that movie. So
and I felt that way about Predators too. I thought that the cast in it, like I cared about the cast. Even like Topher Grace. I
I
liked
love Topher until he turns.
yeah.
That was like my first time watching him play a bad guy. Then of course he did it.
The straight up villain, right?
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
like, no, I don't like this. This doesn't fit you. Just like Venom didn't fit you.
And another thing I watched last week, I don't know if I mentioned it, I probably did, but nope, which I probably did. I loved it. And I keep wanting Brandon to watch it because it's just so, I would just want to have his take on everything. Just, I can't wait for him to watch it. I plan on maybe hopefully trying to watch it again this weekend. And Brandon says again, and then I said, Brandon, you've seen Elvis 6 times, so you can't say again. Um, but all right, well, we'll move on into the episode, getting to what we're here for, which is Falcon and the Winter
Time out.
Soldier. Oh, go for it. My bad, Brandon. You got something that you want to mention? I'm sorry.
We have one topic today, and I just wanted to discuss it with Aaron.
What my bad.
There's been some Rocky drama amongst Sylvester Stallone and producer Ern Winkler. who's produced every Rocky universe picture. Um, Basically, what Stallone's lashing out, he wants the rights to his character, and
Mm-hmm.
he's not getting it. He's upset about Creed 3. He's upset about the Drago spinoff. And people was like, is he being greedy? Is he not wanting other people to shine? Or is he being forced out of his own creation? I just like
Mm-hmm.
your take on it. What do you think?
I think he's being forced out. Like Rock, when I think about Rocky, I think about the movie series. The movie, the first one was great. Second was pretty good. Third one was pretty good. The fourth one, in my opinion, is the best. Well, just in my opinion, was the best one. And then like it kind of went down, and then Balboa kind of brought it up. Like it, Balboa fixed it, fixed the way it landed with the Tommy Gunn stuff. Although I know you like Tommy Gunn stuff, but um,
I mean, I like
uh,
the story of what he's going through, his brain injury and all that. But I don't like Tommy Gunn. I like
but I didn't the
fight.
street fight element. I didn't, you like see I didn't like the street fight element,
I like
man.
the street fight.
But I think that Sylvester Stallone was able to kind of help save the series, help save the franchise, and then give it breathe new life in it with Creed with that stuff. And I think that yeah, I think it's wrong to force him out, and where he still has a lot in the tank as far as like things to offer it, but
Yeah.
but studios take stuff and destroy it. But look at the Home Alone franchise, how they just took it and like ran it to the ground, and it doesn't even look like what it. I love that Scream poke fun of that too. How Scream poke fun of the fact that studios take franchises and just destroy them over
Mm-hmm.
the course of time. Like like they had like in Scream they make fun of a Scream version that had you know Ghostface was like had a flamethrower or something like that. It's weird. It's like in his chivalry because that's what they do. They take IP and like get all. How much can I get out of this?
Yeah.
And it. So I think that they do that, and I think that they're wrong for trying to take it from Sylvester Stallone. Or at least he should have creative input. He should have he should have like that John Carpenter rule. Like Carpenter has that. You know, he doesn't really have final, but people, he's the Don. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Carpenter's the, and you want to make sure that he at least likes the product, unless you're Rob Zombie, of course, then you don't really care. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's a
I was just curious what you thought about it. Me, I think it's all sad. The fact that he doesn't have any kind of rights to his own creation, because there would be no Rocky without him. There would be no Rocky universe without him. And if he's not involved, I don't know how well Creed 3 is going to do. I don't know how well Drago will do. I'm not even sure Drago will happen if Stallone's not part of it, because Dolph Lundgren's, he's really good friends with Sly. So if he sees they're forcing him out, he may just leave the project. And if he leaves, what's the point? I
right.
mean, they shouldn't do anything without him. He should have, if he's not even if he's not in a movie, he should have creative control.
Control. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's his baby. I mean we all know that. They
Hmm.
shouldn't force him out if that's what they're doing. I don't. Some people think he's being greedy, not wanting other people to shine. I don't think that. I don't think it's not about money either. I think that's his baby.
Yeah. I
He
understand.
he's went on record to say he's okay if they reboot Rambo without him, and so
The Rock is the one that kind of
Rocky
was
made him.
was
So
yeah, yeah. I feel that.
I, it means a lot to him. It means a lot to the fans too. I can't imagine a Rocky universe without Rocky. It's not right.
I agree with you. I agree with you. All right, we're gonna get into Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It came out on Disney Plus in 2021. Following the events of Avengers Endgame, Sam Wilson, Falcon, and Bucky Barnes, Winter Soldier, team up in a global adventure that tests their abilities and their patience. Starring Anthony Mackie as Falcon, Sebastian Stein, I don't know if I said it right, as Bucky Barnes. I didn't even realize this. Wyatt Russell, Kurt Russell's son, is John
Yes,
Walker.
Kurt Russell. Oh my God, his
I didn't
son.
think, I didn't
I
even think that like that was Kurt Russell's son. It didn't,
really.
and I was like, oh, it is. And then now I can't not see it. That is Kurt Russell's son.
I had that same experience when I watched Overlord for the very first time. I was like, man, that guy looks so much like Kurt Russell. I wonder if they're related.
Yeah,
He just looks so. It's like a Kurt Russell was reborn, resurrected.
yeah.
And
He'll be perfect for the Big Trouble or Snake or
yeah,
Escape from New York if they ever was to remake it. Cast young Russell there. But he probably I don't know if he'll want to do it. But
he
um,
kind of wants to do stuff, even though he is working on the new Godzilla Kong TV series with Kurt. So that's going to be something. But he said he kind of wants to do his own thing. Doesn't want to get in a trap where he's in his dad's shadow. And I don't think it's possible. He's a terrific actor. He's got a presence on screen.
we also have Daniel Bruhl as Zemo returning in this film. We have it was that GSP George St. Pierre, yeah.
Yeah.
The MMA, like he showed up in another of the MCU films. And then I want to give my hat, take my hat off to uh, where is he? Oh man, the guy that played I got Black Captain America because I forget his name in here. Uh, who is it? Where is he? I'm trying to find him. Yeah, Carl Lumbly as Isaiah Bradley. Uh, I thought he was excellent there. I just wanted to know your thoughts on the first of all, like on the Bucky, not Bucky, but Falcon Sam at the beginning of the show, pretty much is wrestling with the notion of being the next Captain America. Like, and he feels like he does. Well, she told Steve that he doesn't feel like the shield belongs to him,
Yeah.
and he then gives it to the Smithsonian uh, to retire it. Kind of like a memorial for Steve Rogers. But
Who's apparently on the moon.
yeah, they think he's on the moon. But what was your thoughts on like just the beginning, like the first episode or so of this show?
First episode felt like a movie from the MCU. It had everything, and I love the character development for Bucky and Sam. And I also will say this: I've heard other people talk about it. You realize that they're missing Captain America, Steve Rogers, and they're missing Tony Stark. No one is filling that shoe. No one's filling that void, and their presence is here. It's missing. It's all over the show, especially with Steve. But I felt even with Tony, it was missing, and that's the very first time I felt that. Like they mentioned him a couple times, but it's like the presence isn't there. And I've heard other people talk about it. Their presence has been missed in Phase 4. And you know it and you feel it. And I didn't really feel that until watching this show. Like I miss their presence.
Yeah, you're right. You do miss and that's what now that you're in a world without a Tony Stark and without Steve Rogers, and because of that, you have all these different terrorists or I don't want to say terrorists, but organizations and people springing up. And I thought that this show did something interesting with dealing with the blip, and you don't think about that. Like, so say you blipped away, and then to kind of get things moving again, they open the borders and bring people in and let them kind of have homes and create revenue or whatnot. But then 5 years later, people blip back into their homes, and so they hey, well, well, they're back now. You're gonna have to move. You
Yeah.
gotta leave this place that we gave you. You know, and and so they felt like thrown away, and so and forgotten. And so I thought that was an interesting notion to and and understanding understandable reason why a organization would become um, to do what they did, like the flag smashers or whatever. Um, what are your thoughts on that?
It's pretty similar. Now I didn't really buy into this new terrorist organization. Like these new super soldiers. I was like, it's interesting to think about, but I was like, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. It's like, well, I'm not, and I thought it was led by Wyatt Russell. I thought, I didn't know anything. I just knew we were getting a new Captain America, and it was going to be him. I thought maybe he was the main villain of the show, and I thought he was at the end of the very first episode, which wasn't the case. It wasn't him. He's not leading this charge, but it went a completely different direction. But I do agree with most of what you said. Um, I don't know. This show took chances. I think it
Mm-hmm.
took some risk, and sometimes it really paid off, and sometimes it just I don't know. I kind of felt meh with some things they did.
Curious, what did you what 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 did you feel like worked and what did you feel didn't work?
Okay, the new Captain America. Um,
Mhm.
I
You
love Wyatt
mean
Russell.
you okay? Wyatt Walker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
John Walker. I,
Mhm.
I wish they would have took more time with him so we get to know him a little bit more. Because I remember when the show hit and everybody was talking about how he sucks, how
The
he's
meme of it, yeah, the
yeah.
meme
I was
of his
like,
greater value,
I was
great
like,
value.
this guy's such a good actor. How can people not like him? And I think the problem is I like him, but I think the problem was we didn't know who he really was. You know what his heart is until like later on in the show. You know, they didn't take time to really let's get to know him. It was kind of rushed, and that's why I kind of think the shows like these could benefit maybe being 10 episodes or 13 instead of just 6. But
I want to mention. I want to kind of piggyback off what you just said there, though. I feel like the government, like in this case, the government in this movie, in the show rather, uh, like they want to manufacture their own superhero,
yeah,
their own poster boy, and they really never really desired it to be Bucky nor or uh, you know or Sam Wilson Falcon. They don't really or War Machine for that matter. They just don't. They want another front guy, and that front guy is. And I'm not saying that uh, Walker, John Walker, in himself was bad. He seemed like his heart was in the right place to begin with, and I liked his relationship with his friend.
yeah,
Uh, I thought that that kind of kept him humble, kept him, you know, it reminded me like of Cap's relationship with Falcon, honestly, just like that dynamic there. But yeah, just ultimately though, he said it. He says, he got bravery, like he got you know medals of honor and things like that. But people are like, oh, he got medals of honor, but he had to do some very very bad things to get those
yeah.
medals. And that's the reality of war. That
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and I'm not saying that none of those guys or women that serve our country isn't heroes. They are heroes. They go and they fought for us, fought for our freedoms, and I take I really do salute them. But I've also in reality realized that in serving our country, that literally means that they got to do things that they probably aren't proud of because they're taught to do it and have to do it. And you know, so it's real. It's real. This show works well with like PTSD, with trauma of war, with um, is who you are, you know, in America, or in this
Yeah,
world.
yeah, I agree with that. I really agree with that. I think for his character in this, though, he just, I mean, well, first off, you're replacing Steve Rogers. I mean, you're
Hard to
not
do.
you're not on the same level as Steve. Neither is Sam. I mean, he's not, and you can't really replace Steve Rogers. I mean, not really. I mean, but I think the best choice for me, the best choice was probably Bucky. Because he's a super soldier as well, but he's a PR nightmare because he's killed so many people. So you couldn't really go in that direction, thinking government wise. And you really, I hate to say this, but Sam wouldn't be a choice because he's black, right? And that's part of the storyline here. No black man would ever want to be Captain America for what their people have went through.
That's what
I like
Isaiah said.
I like that subplot. By the way, I really it made me think of Black Panther and Killmonger. His mindset. You know, eh, I think they have
And
very similar mindsets. Him
and
and
we're going to talk about that too. We'll go ahead and talk about it now. Well, before we get there, I wanted to ask you, what were your thoughts on the love hate relationship between Sam uh, and you know
Bucky.
Bucky? Yeah,
Well, I think you know me well enough to know that I'm a huge Bucky fan. I like the chemistry they have, but never really understood the hate. Why they don't like each other? Because it seemed like they were getting along before the blip. In Civil War, it seemed like they were getting more along. But maybe because Steve's not there, maybe he was, like kind of the glue that kept.
yeah. That's how I feel about it. Like it's like, for instance, you and I, we became friends, and we had a mutual friend that was in the midst, and we kind of sunk around that person, kind of knew each other around that person.
Yeah,
Um, but even with that, with that person not there, it might have seemed awkward at first, but now I think honestly, me and you are like really, really great friends, and but and I think it's just the dynamic there. It's like their mutual friend was Steve, and now they're like, it's like you remember that Seinfeld episode where George and Elaine and Jerry leaves to go somewhere, and then
yeah,
George and Elaine are there. They go out together, and Jerry wasn't there, and they just realize they really they're Jerry's friends. Jerry's their friends, but they don't really know each other. That's
yeah.
kind of how I got from them. But yeah, I don't really understand why they always gotta like bucket one another. You know what I'm saying? But
But I mean, I like their chemistry. But I like their individual stories too. And I really did love that first episode where we're seeing where Sam is and we're seeing where Bucky is. And Bucky's dealing with a lot of trauma. He's trying to make amends to people he's wronged, people he's killed, their family members, especially one guy that he hangs with. And that was when you find out that he killed his son. Oh man, I was like,
and the grief he feels over it, just like you know, that's why he said to Steve, "I remember them all." Like
yeah,
it's not like he doesn't care. It's like he's a silent passenger uh, in the act, but there's nothing he could do about it because he's under control. But he remembers it. He's stuck with him.
yeah,
It's like, man. But yeah, I love their relationship. I love, but yeah, when you talk about Isaiah Bradley, um, who is we find out is the is the first black Captain America, um, but he was so that storyline is reminiscent of the Tuskegee Airmen experiments, not Tuskegee Airmen, but Tuskegee experiments. So in Tuskegee, a lot of white uh, doctors or whatever came to a rural black community, Tuskegee, and said they was treating people for syphilis. But what they're doing is giving them placebo just to study the effects of syphilis over the course of years. So, so that's why black folks tend to not really trust the government, or more than that, but not trust the government and not trust doctors and stuff like that because of the Tuskegee experiment, and which is a real thing. You can look it up. Um, but yeah, so when he mentioned like they experimented on us, they took my blood, they came in my cell, and like for 30 years, you can see the torture and the bitterness that this country put in him. You know what I'm saying? And it's just sad. And so Sam is trying to understand that. Like, I'm glad that they said, yeah, Steve had no idea that this even, because if Steve Rogers knew that this was happening, that this place existed, he would have broke them out or did something and shed light on it, because this
Yeah.
is Rogers' character, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he would have done something, that's for sure. But I would also, I realized that watching this last night that really this is the very first time we've got to see Sam have any kind of story arc. He's always just been Steve's friend, sidekick. So, and I realized, like, wow, I really don't know who Sam is. I don't know who Sam Wilson is. Because he's never really he just kind of followed Steve Rogers around. So it was kind of interesting to watch him have a story arc. And
Have a family and
yeah, I mean,
community. Yeah.
and I think that's one of the main reasons why I didn't feel like he, for me, was suitable to be Captain America, because I never looked at him as a leader. I always looked at him as a follower, and now that he's actually, and I love how they did it for the first 5 episodes. They put Sebastian Stan's name first in the credits. That last episode, it was Anthony Mackie. Like,
Oh, real? I didn't pay attention to that.
yeah, I was like, I like how they did that. They were setting it up the whole show for him to take this mantle, and I like that. And
Yeah, I want to mention that too when we get there. Uh, yeah, go ahead, finish your thought. Though. I just want to say it's something I want to mention to you when
it
we get
was
that way.
I just love the whole story arc with him. Like, he doesn't want to be Captain America. He doesn't feel he deserves to be Captain America. And then he meets Isaiah,
Mm-hmm.
who's a super soldier, and you say the very first black Captain America, and then he said, no, what was it? Respectful, respectable,
No self-respect, respecting black man.
whatever you want to be that.
Yeah.
I think that hit him, but he also has to do what he thinks is right. And I just love how it builds and builds and builds to the final episode with Sam, and he does take the mantle, and it fits well with him. I mean, I ain't gonna lie.
Merged well the Falcon and Captain America, and start owning it. Like he says, "Who are you?" And he says, "Captain America." And then the guy said, "I thought he was on the moon." but yeah, and then that one part where he was outside doing things, and then the older black guy was like, "Look, that's the Black Falcon." And he says, "No, man, that's Captain America." And so, and I love that they're now seeing it. I love this is the part where I was talking about. I wanted to bring up. Man, I actually got a little choked when the first time Bucky calls him Cap, when Bucky says "Hey Cap" or something like that. I'm like, oh man, just like he's owning it, and it suits him, man. He says, "I'm not a super. I don't have a super serum. I'm just I just I'm gonna fight for my country."
Yeah,
you know, because I'm not gonna let nobody tell me I can't fight for my country. Um,
yeah. I also like the story arc where Bucky's upset with him because he just gave the shit away when Steve said you were right for this. He says if he was wrong about you, he's wrong about me. So it's very deep.
yeah,
These characters, and I love that. I really do. I love, And throughout the whole show, I was like, I just don't think they can replace Steve. I felt it watching it the whole time. I was like, there's no replacing him. And it's, in a way, it's true. You can't replace him, but you can move on from him. And I think I'm not comparing, Sam to Steve Rogers or anything. I'm not saying he's better and he's going to be better or anything, but you have to move on from the past. You have to accept the future, the present as what it is, and you just have to move on from that.
I think that's what I think that's honestly the overarching theme of the MCU from post end games is how to move on.
Yeah,
Whether it was Peter trying to move on from the loss of Tony, the world trying to move on from the loss of Tony, and but for Sam and Bucky, they're actually mourning the loss of Steve. Though they don't imply Steve is dead, but Steve is gone. Like he's not there. He's not going to be there. Like, hey, let me give you some insight. He's gone.
he's
From
gone.
what he's gone, and they're mourning him as if he's gone. And man, it's just like an amazing thing to think about. But yeah, I think I agree with you. There's no replacing Steve Rogers as Captain America, but we got to move on. And Sam Wilson being Captain America now is the way we move on. It might, it might. And he said, I know that there's some people that aren't going to like me being Captain America, me having the shield. I can feel it. I feel it right even now. But nevertheless, we're here.
Yeah, and that's true. I mean, it's true not just in the story, but that's true in reality. Some people will not accept anyone else Captain America other than Chris Evans.
Or any, but we that way with any of fictional characters. Like I noticed,
Yeah.
remember when people was like, when they said, "Oh, I think Idris Elba would be great for Bond," and then they said, "Oh, Black Bond," and they like, but then like when we even got just not even a Black Bond, but we got a Black 007. Just and people was like, "Oh, that's ridiculous," and she's a woman, she's a black woman. It's like, man, people get so attached to these characters, but sometimes
Mm,
things will happen, and like I think that honestly, somebody once said Michael B. Jordan would have been great as the next like Superman, and make Superman like just change the origin a bit, and why not? But I know people would throw a fit, but like people aren't used to it. People don't want to accept it. So.
I don't know how I would feel about Michael B. Jordan playing Superman. It's not because he's black. It's just I don't. I love him. I don't think he's.
As the body type or what?
No, it's just like I like him as Killmonger and I like him in Creed. He's a good actor, but I don't think he's a great actor. I don't. I mean, maybe he doesn't have to be for Superman, but I just don't know. I just don't think it would look right.
Hmm.
Him playing Superman. But I don't know who would be right for that role. I mean, if you did go a black man, but if it was in his earlier days, I say Denzel, because Denzel can pull off anything. Literally, he can pull off anything. But
I agree.
but
Also,
I had no problem with Idris, whatever, playing Bond. Like I think that's perfect casting. Honestly, that's perfect.
yeah.
Just because there hasn't been a black Bond, that doesn't mean there can't be. I don't understand why people get upset over that. I mean, I really don't.
I want to ask you while we're like moving forward a bit. What was your thoughts on Sharon Carter popping up? Also, I want to get your thoughts on Zemo and the different side that we saw of Zemo a little bit. Like
He did
they kind
more.
of, huh?
I said he did more here.
Yeah, I felt like Zemo was. I didn't hate him. I didn't hate him. I never hated him as a character, because I completely understand why he did what he did. That's the thing about Marvel is they make all the villains so complex that you understand why they do what they do.
Yeah.
Uh, but I just like his that he started dancing a little bit, just. But he's so smart. He's always playing he's so far ahead of everybody else. You know, just like his mind, he's really smart. But yeah, he just man, I loved seeing him. I didn't think I would like seeing him again, but I was glad to see him again in the Marvel in the MCU.
I was excited to see him. I didn't know he was going to pop up, but I was excited to see him. I loved him in Civil War. I thought he was one of these. Actually, I think he's the smartest villain we've had. He made his opponents fight themselves. So there you go. He
He,
wins.
yeah, you're right. He successfully broke up the Avengers,
So
and they never really got back together completely.
yeah,
Like they never really truly mended. But yeah,
but
hey,
yeah,
you're right.
I
He
thought he
did more harm than to the Avengers than like Thanos. Actually,
yeah. I thought he was fun in this, though. I enjoyed watching him. A little sad to see him go in episode 5. I mean, he didn't die, but he left. He got
yeah,
captured by Wakanda.
yeah, Dora Milaje. I don't know if I'm saying it right. I like that they popped up. I love that she popped up. Florence Kasumba, who played Ayo, she was in like she was in Falcon. She was in the Winter Soldier movie, and she's the one that told Scarlett Johansson move or be moved.
Yeah,
And then Chadwick says, "As much as I love to see that, ladies, no, whatever." But man, I thought I want to mention real quick though. However, what was your thoughts on? And I mentioned it briefly. Emily Van Camp as Sharon Carter, and the twist of who Sharon Carter is now post Blip, post being on the run. So she is a villain.
I don't like it. I don't like it. It's gonna work for her, but because she stands out now, she didn't stand out before. It's hard to believe a Carter could turn. You know,
Total opposite of her aunt, right?
yeah, but so I think it's going to work out for a character. I just couldn't believe it. It's hard to accept. But well, I know what they're doing. They're setting up the Thunderbolts movie with all this because Walker's going to be part of it. Winter Soldier, Black Widow, they're all going to be part of this Thunderbolts movie. So that is one thing I do notice that they are really setting up. I don't know if a lot of people have noticed that. I'm sure they have, but that's the one thing
Marvel,
they've really set up.
Marvel is, yeah, Marvel is super smart as far as like they are setting up for years to come. Like they're sowing seeds. They're really good at sowing seeds, and then the payoff will come later on. Like I did want to mention because there's a scene that just flashed on my screen here. What was your thoughts when Walker? They implied they beheaded that man with the shield. What was your what was your thoughts on?
I thought that was honestly a good thing because to me the show was kind of getting stale a little bit. They needed something to really happen, something drastic, and it finally did with his character. I was like, oh my god, is he going to be like the main villain moving forward, or what? Well, I was so intrigued about his character because, like I said, his story arc wasn't fleshed out really. It was rushed, but I felt this was good for his character, and of course the court scene with him, and he looks exactly like Kurt Russell in that court scene, like so much the way he's speaking. He came off just like Kurt Russell in his 20s, early 30s. But I was like, man, this guy's got a screen presence, and I knew that in Overlord too, but I loved the direction they went with him. Like you didn't know
Mhm.
if he was going to be good or if he was going to be bad for this. what direction are they going to go with him? And they kept me guessing. I ended up loving the direction they went with him. But
So
I thought it was needed, honestly, though.
the lady that played the head flag smasher, I think she's going to be in this next Willow movie. Actually, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but um, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. But she was also in the Green Knight, which I've never seen that movie. Um, she was in Solo, a Star Wars story, which I don't recall her in there. But
Probably
yeah,
a small child in that.
oh no, no, she was. I think she was like part of the people that lived in the sand or whatever. But yeah, but she. So I think that her character, I never like. She's not a really. She's a villain, but she's not. She's a villain, but she's just a like as Sam said. She's just a misled teenager.
Mm-hmm.
She was a kid, pretty much.
Yep.
That has this rage and this wants to fight, but she doesn't know how she Buck and not Bucky, but Sam tried to kind of like talk her down and mentor her and just tell her, there's another way to go about this. But Agent Carter, Sharon Carter kills her because to keep her secret. I would say to keep her secret.
Yeah. Definitely keep her secret. I really didn't care much for her character, though. I didn't care much for that group, to be honest. It was just I cared more about everything else that was going on than their calls or anything. It was I think it was one of the parts that kind of had me going meh. It's just this
Yeah,
aspect is kind of meh. But it got it to A to A to B to C. It got us there, but I just didn't really care for their cause.
yeah. I think the main aspect of this show was to set up, obviously, Falcon transitioning to Captain America. Also, I love that Winter Soldier's sticking around. I love that he is now like there with around. It seems like he's gonna stay around. Um, Sam now. I think he's a little sweet on Sam's sister. Let's be real. But
I mean, I don't know how much. Like, I expect him to be in the new Captain America movie,
mhm.
but I know he's a major player in the Thunderbolts movie. Like, him and Black Widow, I think, are going to be the two leading charges of that movie. Which that's your girl Florence now. So
Yeah, but and that's the thing, and it goes back to what you're saying as far as us moving forward in the MCU. Yeah, and just like that, like people probably hate that they recast Black Widow now as Florence, but that's where we're at. Um, and I'm okay with it because I like her as an actress, but I like her as this character. No, she's not Scarlet. Scarlet was different, but and no, Sam is not Steve, but they are they are them, but in these new roles in this new capacity. Um,
there's growth
and
with
yeah,
certain characters. They're
man, I
coming
can't wait.
bigger characters, and you gotta love that.
Yeah,
I love that Bucky's kind of coming his own person too.
mhm.
I feel like he could lead things. Uh, I feel like Sam may need him for the next Captain America movie, but I think after that, Sam could be fine on his own. I
Yeah.
believe that. I don't think he needs a sidekick.
I did love at the end of the last episode when they did the title card and it says Captain America and the Winter Soldier. I love that they acknowledge that Sam Wilson is now Captain America, and just like, and it seems like he's kind of blown up a bit in his own town. Like there's people taking pictures with him, and you know, uh, just like the best thing is for me is a black guy. Is love seeing like characters, diverse characters, not just black characters, but like Shang Chi. Imagine how amazing it is for the Asian community to have a
Yeah,
superhero. that they can identify with, or with Ms. Marvel having a character that the Pakistani community can agree, like sympathize with, and just like I think it's really cool that MCU's stepping in that direction. Now, how's everything gonna fit together? That's another story. I don't know. I don't. To me, right now, it still seems like the MCU is still all over the place. Um,
I see a little
I
bit of
don't-
their direction a little bit more clear now, though, because I definitely see them setting up the Thunderbolts movie, which is going to be big. It's going to be like an Avengers film. So that's a clear setup in this phase.
so this is gonna be so Thunderbolts is like the anti Avengers but it's like Dark Avengers essentially,
Yeah,
something like that.
yeah,
That's cool. So it's gonna be their own little like Thunderbolts, and then they have like taglines of different movies like the Avengers, but with this group of people. That's cool. That'd be interesting to see.
yeah. I think it's good. And Doctor Strange, what was he? What was that
Which
group called?
the I forget.
Illuminati.
Yeah, Illuminati. Yeah.
That probably will get set up at some point. Um, I would say, obviously, probably after phase whatever Secret Wars is, probably after that. Plus, you're gonna get the X-Men to come in. I mean,
So the end of Phase 4 is Wakanda Forever. That's the end
yeah,
of Phase 4, and
I think
then we're going
Ant-Man starts phase 5.
to Ant-Man Phase 5.
So I mean, it's
Um,
cool on its own right, though. I mean, Ant-Man, he's still around. I just love that.
and then you have so Phase 5. I'm pulling it up right now. It looks like Phase 5. You're gonna have Agatha. They're covering the Chaos, Echo, which is that one character. Well, yeah, you hadn't met her yet.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know who Echo is.
Um, Ironheart, which will meet her in Wakanda Forever. Blade, which we've, huh?
Is Ironheart supposed to be the new Iron Man like
Mm,
character?
Sort of Iron Man like character. Yeah, yeah, very, very uh, MIT student that is very, very smart like Tony. Um, the Marvels, which is coming. Secret Invasion, which is the scroll stuff. Then we have Captain America: New World Order, which the first episode of this episode was called New World Order.
Yeah,
Um, we have Loki season 2 as well. Ant Man and the Wasp. I think that's the official first movie of Phase 5. Daredevil Reborn, Born Again, which is going to be like 18 episode series. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. This is in 2023. And then they have some sporadic stories from Phase 6 already together. Thunderbolts is one of them, I think. So,
yeah.
man, it's going to be amazing, man. Uh, unless we
They
get
definitely
blipped. But,
doing better than DC.
yeah.
I made a
Uh,
joke about it that DC's canceling everything while Marvel has a 20-year plan.
yeah, you're right about it. What is what's your overall thoughts of this show going into your marks for the show?
I mean, I overall I really did enjoy it. I mean, some of the story aspect was because you had a lot of characters to follow in this. It just wasn't Winter Soldier and Sam. There's a few more that play a big role in the setups they do with Sharon Carter and John. It's John Walker, right? That's his
Mm-hmm.
name.
John Walker.
So I mean, I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the story. I really enjoyed the story arc with Sam and Bucky. I mean that they just make the whole show, and the thing with Isaiah was cool to see, refreshing actually. It was very emotional. Um, I really
I
liked.
love, what did you think about before you finish, bro? What did you think about when Sam took him to Steve's museum and showed him that they have now exhibit for
Oh,
him.
that was so heartwarming, and he just knew he appreciated that, and he would never forget that. That meant a lot to him. And was that his grandson?
Yes, his grandson. So in the comics, his grandson becomes uh like not like a Captain America, but he becomes like another like 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 the cadet or something like kind of like a sidekick of uh Sam, like kind of like a like he
I can
mentored.
see that happening too. I mean,
And then also the other guy, the soldier guy that Sam was friends with, that he went on missions with,
yeah.
um, that took his wings or whatever. That guy ends up becoming the new Falcon in the comic books.
See, they're setting up stuff, and I like that. I really like that. They're setting up a lot.
Sowing
Some stuff
little
we don't
seeds,
know
like
about.
little
Yeah,
small seeds. Yeah,
and I think it's all going to pay off. I know a lot of people have been worried about. They don't know what is Phase 4. I think the point of Phase 4 is moving on.
hmm
I think that is the whole point of Phase 4. It's not about the main villain or where we're going with these Avenger films in Phase 6. It's really about moving on from Steve and Tony, from Endgame and moving on. There's a new world, you know. So
new world order. But what would your marks?
I'll give it 4 out of 5 on the markout meter.
Okay. I enjoyed it. I'm going to give it 4 out of 5 as well. I thought it was good. There was some lowly like places where it kind of was like down. But yeah, no, all in all, I think they did a great job of setting up. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Honestly, I am. I'm glad that so far you are enjoying the Marvel stuff, the Marvel shows, Brandon. Honestly, I am. I was okay. I didn't know how you was gonna take a lot of them. So you surprised me with What If. You surprised me with WandaVision. Now you surprised me with this one. So
The only one I really couldn't get into was Loki. It and that had me worried, like, because I love the character so much. And
hmm.
is every other show going to be like this? It's not. I
So
think
you
that
started with Loki, and you're like,
I don't know about this,
yeah.
but a lot of people have been, I don't know, have mixed feelings on this whole Phase 4. They feel that Marvel's lost a step. I don't think they have. I just think they are building towards a lot, and I think fans need to be more patient than they have been in the past with
Yep.
everything because they've. How many shows how much stuff was in Phase 4?
I
Almost
don't
20
know.
things, right?
Yeah, it's been a lot.
Yeah.
Uh,
So I mean,
well, before we wrap, I do want to. So next week we will be discussing Shang-Chi. We'll be revisiting Shang-Chi, and then from there it's the Eternals, and then we get towards. We're getting close. We're getting close. I want to mention in theaters now, Elvis is gone finally. Uh, as far as I know, I might be wrong, Brandon. Bullet Train is in theaters. Easter Sunday is a new comedy produced by Steven Spielberg, actually. DC League of Super Pets, which Brandon, did you see that or no?
yeah, I saw it
How
last Saturday. I thought it was fun. You know,
you didn't see Bullet Train yet? Are you
no,
seeing that? Are you seeing it?
I plan to see it Tuesday after
Okay.
Nope.
Okay. Oh, at the note. Vengeance. Brandon saw that.
Yeah,
Nope. Where the Crawdads Sing. Thor: Love and Thunder still. Minions: Rise of Gru. Black Phone is still in theaters. Top Gun Maverick is still in theaters. Wow. So yeah, some things to check out if you want to go to your local Regal. This isn't like being paid by Regal. I just want to say, hey, go check out a movie, man. Here in Bozeman, we have Regal. If you have something else somewhere else, go see it somewhere else. Um, but yeah. But anything else you want to add before we end this thing?
no. Oh, I always forget. One last thing to add. Yes, yes. let's get us. We have a goal here. We're trying to get to 500 subscriptions, like we're on OnlyFans or something. That's not what we're doing. But we would love for to get 500 subscribers. So if you don't mind, if you enjoyed this episode, obviously if you enjoyed it, click that like, click that share, and click that subscribe button. Help us out.
And check us out on YouTube. We are on Anchor. We're everywhere. Just Google the Markout Movie Podcast, and you can find us. You can listen. You can watch us. But in the meantime and in between time, Aaron Whitlow,
Brandon Spivey.
we thank you for marking out with us here on the Markout Movie Podcast.